delivered there.
I love facts.
I do
Sure,
too.
sure.
I still have a fax.
What is it?
I just don't have a landline to make it work.
Isn't that funny? I don't have a landline either. What's it say on your shirt?
That's so nice.
It says healthcare for all.
Yay! You know, I do a lot of my own self-healing.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really do pharmaceuticals. So like I'll make a tea, I'll put different ingredients in it, depending on what I need, I'll eat certain things. It's crazy. It works. Knock on wood.
Well, fine for your grandmother. Ask her. So how many people had cancer back then? She's like, well, it was really rare and scary. But then she wasn't exposed to high-fructose corn syrup until recently.
You know, I will tell you that she smoked a pack of Pall Mall filterless a day. And she lived to be in her 80s, did die of emphysema, but she lived to be in her 80s. So I do think that high-fructose corn syrup might have something to do with it.
Well, I take the whole...
What are you doing?
That's the into your 80s to smoke Pall Malls. Shit.
Right?
Now you mentioned tea, I had to run and make myself a cup of Irish breakfast.
Oh, that's a good one. A friend of mine is Indian, and whenever I see her, she brings me tea from India. So today, I'm having ginger cardamom tea.
Mandan, Chippewa, Navajo.
I have no idea.
Oh, the real Indian.
Oh, that kind. Sorry, yes. Indians from India. That's what you have.
Sorry, keyword, S-A-R-I. I'm being playful.
You are playful.
The audio is hot. I am recording. I'm ready to start whenever you are ready, Harrison.
All right, stand by.
I will still have the URL up above center.
It can't be a good Englishman without tea.
You're a Brit.
Not really, but my people were in 1620.
There you go. I think we all probably done every continent prior to getting here.
We did it. Diddled each other. It's just mayhem. And then we became.
Whoops, that one went somewhere. What'd you say?
I said then we became puritanical and still did it, but declared we didn't.
True.
That's the difference.
Yes.
All right. Give me 1 minute, Billy. I have to grab my infant.
You are two distinctly different people. I can tell by your chair, your wall, his stuff. It's funny, isn't it? What I think is hilarious from where I'm sitting. Hey, Harrison, where I'm sitting, it looks like that could be your bathroom behind you, so it's hilarious every time you step back there.
It is.
Oh, it is? See?
No, but I could take a whiz in the kitchen.
You can? You're talented.
Maryland.
I am. That would be, and it wouldn't violate any codes in LA.
Not now, but it might soon.
Someday. Alrighty. Irish breakfast.
Yay!
Woo-hoo. Now you don't have to watch the cleaning lady take a whiz. Unless you're into it.
You know, listen, it depends on what I have going on that day.
We like to have something for everybody here. Okay. Susan Johnston, founder and director of the New Media Film Festival. That would be you, madam.
Hi, how are you?
We're good.
We're good.
So now it's really Billy in some way to figure it all out. Make it all make sense in our little tiny world.
Are you ready?
Oh, now you like you're in a spaceship.
I am. It's very Irwin Allen, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's USS Maryland. All right. So you ready?
I am.
I'm gonna go. Turn my mic off. Watch the point.
Yeah. And we are coming to you live today from Marilyn Monroe's former apartment in West Hollywood, California. Harris with you, having just returned from the National Association of Broadcasters in Vegas, where we were able to frolic with all the grown-ups, the folks that give you Rush Limbaugh and all the other gifts to keep on giving and giving and giving, much like a spirochete gives syphilis until it becomes tertiary, and then you go mad and out of your mind. We bonded with them and happily now back amongst sane people in the homeless capital of the world, Los Angeles, where there's more talent and more sophistication and more sanity amongst people who don't even know what's going on than the people who do. Now, political statement aside, or maybe not. It might forebode something wonderful and good. And one of the great joys that we have in this marketplace, the media capital of Earth, is of course film. This is where it was invented really and modified and turned into a normal storytelling mechanic. Many of the images and ways that we understand the world around us are brought to us through filmmaking. This is how we are able to tell the stories, much as Jonathan Swift, when he wrote Gulliver's Travels, was able to talk about the King of England and get away with it, using satire, metaphors. And film does the same thing. It acts as TV news, if TV news actually covered news, and not Kardashians, but actually covered news. You wouldn't have to also use these other entertaining utilities as a way to get important messages across. And there are a lot of people that do put forth the effort, the backbone, the muscle, the heavy lifting to make in creative ways to bring us these great stories, whether they're just pure entertainment or whether they have a more documentary feel. All of it is possible, especially with new media. So I want to introduce to you a woman by the name of Susan Johnston. She happens to be the founder and director of the New Media Film Festival. And their third annual version of that is going to be held this coming June 12th at the 13th at the Landmark here in Los Angeles. It's going to feature Jesus was a Commie, brought by Emmy and Golden Globe nominee Matthew Modine. And Jesus was a commie, by the way. We're not just saying that because it's fun. Make sure eyebrows go up and down and up and down and up and down. He was a commie. The festival is dedicated to honoring stories worth telling, movies that are innovative, imaginative, and inspirational. Looking about the website, although you can see that URL on your screen right now, it is newmediafilmfestival.com. One word, newmediafilmfestival.com. And Susan, thank you for being on the show with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. You're awesome.
Well, you're awesome, and that's why you're here. And today, tag, you're it.
Well, I hope to be bringing you filmmakers from around the world that tell great stories continually. Really excited it's our third year, and I'm even more excited that we signed a distribution contract this last week, so those filmmakers can actually make money.
Wow, wow. A very unusual idea of an artist actually being compensated for his art. This is new, unusual, and exciting because through your dynamic film festival, through the relationships that you created, through the networking that you provide, that means that if you actually are telling good stories, you can make a living. This isn't necessarily how Hollywood works for the rest of the people.
It did take about 2 years of negotiating to teach the people that I'm working with that I understand you have infrastructure and you have costs, but the percentage has to skew a little more to the filmmaker because it's so hard to find that good filmmaker that can tell a good story. And if you really like it because you've distributed it, don't you want more? And that's kind of how I sold them. It's
Now, let's talk a
exhausting.
little bit.
Okay.
Well, it is exhausting, but it's the right kind of workout because you walk away with happy friends. There's the disappointed friends, right? Now,
I
let's
think
talk a little
so.
bit about what let's talk a little bit about what new media is. Imagine Mildred in Ohio right now, sitting in her lazy boy, wig hanging over one eye, lipstick all over the place, a box of Domino's pizza with dried coagulated cheese slices in the side of her lazy boy recliner. In the little foot portion of the lazy boy are rubber nubbins that come up and massage the bottom of her swollen feet. In her left hand is a box of rum-filled bonbons with melted chocolate kind of glued into her fingers because she passed out earlier with a smashed can of Schlitz on her right knee above her varicose veins. She says, "New media? What does that mean?"
And I'd go, Mildred, do you remember when we had like 45s, the record, and then they became a cassette, and then they became a CD? That's what new media is. It's a way to make moving images a different way. And so when I would talk to you, I would say, what format are you shooting on? What window are you what window are you showing it in? And the fantastic news about new media is that it's constantly changing and evolving. And I think I'll just say that it's constantly changing and evolving. And you can mash up,
So,
like you can mash up different things. It's cool.
so in many ways, with new media, the way it is, you can take these films you're talking about have made and deliver, say, an iPhone. So somebody could actually enjoy an entire film from beginning to end portably, walking down the sidewalk, whereas before they would have had to sit in a movie theater with a projector whirring above their head and an $8 popcorn on their lap. You found a way to deliver the same message without all of that stuff around it.
There are many different ways that you can watch content, and yes, an iPhone and even an Android phone is one of them. And there are companies out there now that have technology where you will be able to be actually able to see a whole entire film in your glasses, like sunglasses. They look like wraparound sunglasses. So you're going to be seeing people zoning out at the bus station, when your flight gets delayed, okay, take out my glasses and I can just press a button and, it's hooking up to a satellite and it's downloading. So, yeah,
Now,
but that's a challenge.
what's your yeah, well, it is a challenge, and unfortunately, I think a lot of people will try to drive with those things. One
I
eye on the
think
road, the other.
I think what I was trying to say is that the challenge is because new media is so accessible financially. I mean, you literally can take your cell phone and make a movie on it. You can make a 30-second, a 1-minute piece of content that has a beginning, middle, and end, takes you on a journey and, spits you out kind of, learning something, wanting more. And, but that's the challenge is now I call it moving content. We can call it films. Films are there's an abundance of them. The market is oversaturated. So it's one, how do you find those gems? And then two, how do you have those gems make money? I've noticed, obviously recently that they're taking A-list celebrities, producers and directors and giving them channels online, to produce web series and stuff like that. And I do think that's fantastic. But so now, what happened to all of those brilliant artists all over the world that have a voice? And so we accept all ages, all media, all cultures. So whether you're an A-list or this is your first film, student or non, we look at you, and it's pretty exciting. What we do is, if you submit to us, we consider you for screening, competition, up to 45,000 in prizes across online, satellite festival, and the major festival. Los Angeles is 25,000 itself, and distribution. So we figure, we're really looking at you. If we can't screen you for some reason, but you've done really good at what you've done, then we'll find a home for you so someone else can purchase it and buy it and enjoy it. Because you didn't make it to have it sit on a shelf, I hope not.
No, exactly. And it's funny, what you're saying is precisely what people want to hear, and that you're delivering it on top is really amazing. I have to say, having talked to many different people at many different film festivals, a lot of them don't have anywhere near your energy level, your perspicacity, your understanding of the artistic process, plus the the business side of the show. You get all of it, and you are out there doing the good fight and bringing to LA movies from Vietnam, movies from other countries, movies for first-time filmmakers, and others, compelling stories that we wouldn't otherwise get to see.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The other thing that's fun, and for some reason we don't really talk about it much, because I put it in print in the local newspapers, but we're very community oriented. So every year, even if it's the satellite festival or the main festival, we have a free international art gallery, a free art on wall exhibit, a free Pop Chips networking lounge. You get some chips and you get to sit and network, and then a free new media marketing table, place one, take one. And so that means you can come down with your flyers, your business cards, your postcards, put them there, and people love that table. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if you heard about our SRC, socially responsible content category. So the cool thing about new media is not only what format are you shooting on, but the stories are so vast that we are actually creating categories that match. So we added what did we add? We added socially responsible content, digital comics. We added music videos. We added trailers because people sort of had sizzle reels, and we were like, these are pretty amazing. They're using these to get funding, so let's let them have a voice.
Wow, I can totally see, like, there's a company in LA that you know very well called Trailer Park, and they do things like that, and soundtracks, voiceovers, make trailers even. And there's also a show, an intermittent show that runs as sort of a long interstitial on, and I forget what network is it. It's not Turner, but it's called Trailer Park. And they'll take old trailers from movies, 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and just put them back to back, the wacky ones. And that is,
oh, that's
yeah,
right.
it's viable, right?
Yeah.
It's viable content. Do you like the delay? Do you like the little lag delay here between you and me talking? No matter what, no matter how polite you are, yeah, we walk on each other. It's like, no, you first. No, you first. No, you first. Okay, I'll go.
I'm trying to find that ebb and flow.
It's not. It's Mr. Bush's internets.
Oh, can I share a story? What? Yes. Go ahead. Go for it.
No.
The whole interview is going to be no, you. I don't know if you've heard about the story about saving Valentina, but we got her. I want to share the story just in case someone has a place where we can put an 85-foot life-size balloon of Valentina. She is a whale that was saved in the Sea of Cortez on Valentine's Day 2011. The Whale Conservancy was out on their boat, and this whale looked dead, so someone was filming it to log it, and then all of a sudden it spit out air out of its little blowhole. So the main guy went in the water. I said 85 feet because it was a female. Males are 98 feet, and he had his little snorkeling glasses and his fins, and he realized quickly that there was a shipping boat net that was pulling the tail down, so the whale could barely get up to breathe. With a knife like this big, he and the two guys on board took turns and cut this net and saved the whale. So they named her Valentina. But she did this amazing dance, like seriously, a dance for like 45 minutes. The clip is 8 minutes, but we've accepted into our festival. And someone was so enthralled with this story that they made a life-size replica of Valentina, and we've been offered it to show it, like, have it kind of, so I don't know where to put her. So if anybody has any, like maybe Santa Monica Beach, you have connections, let's put out Saving Valentina out for people to go enjoy and realize, don't put your nets in the ocean or your plastic bottles, right?
I love the fact, Susan Johnston of the New Media Film Festival. I love the fact that you have a social consciousness, because one of the things that we examine when we do our regular FM radio and then we do our online stuff and then we do a combination of both is typically over the age of 50, they're listening to the radio. They use the internet, they use email, they might even have an iPad, but radio is really to break through car windshields and get inside of that little cabin while they're moving along. Proud for us watches the radio, watches it. And what you're saying is exactly true. It's all content. And Billy Foster, whom you know, who is our wonderful living, breathing geek in Phoenix, who you spoke to earlier, that's his whole thing. There's no such thing as radio. There's no such thing as TV or film. Now, in the digital age, it's just content. And you're talking about that. I think that's really important, because the old system is this bifurcated system. You have the TV people, and then you have the radio people, and then you have the internet people. But the internet people are kicking ass. The TV people are freaking out. The radio people died 5 years ago.
Well, there is going to be a merging of web series and TV. I personally feel that web series are the new wave of TV people, and so there's just kind of a bridge, and I'm trying to merge that bridge, but it does boil down to what's your production value, what's your story. But there's a lot of good web series out there that will end up, right now you can choose where you show. I mean, I can show your show on my phone, on an iPad, on the wall, on a TV screen, next to my internet, next to a TV show, next to a film. Sorry, I'm looking at this imaginary wall. So, yeah, I mean, all the possibilities are there, but I think you're absolutely right. In the 70s, 80s, and I believe even part of the 90s, if you were an actor in film, you did not act on TV. And if you were in TV, you weren't in a music video, or vice versa. It's almost like the Berlin, I mean, I don't socially want to compare this to the Berlin Wall, but it as just sort of an image, it's like that Berlin Wall coming down. There is no more border, and I think that's pretty great.
Harrison with you, your new best friend. We are, of course, doing a GoHarrison extravaganza here, an adjunct to our KPFK 90.7, 98.7, 93.7, 99.5 FM broadcasts throughout California, as well as our radio network. We're talking to Susan Johnston. She's the founder and director of the New Media Film Festival. The third annual New Media Film Festival is going to be held June 13th at the Landmark Theater in Los Angeles, and it's going to be featuring Jesus Was a Commie, brought to you by Emmy and Golden Globe nominee Matthew Modine. Jesus Was a Commie. I mean, that alone will get people to say, what? What's this film festival? There's a reason you picked that title.
I'll share a funny story with you. We have 52 weeks of giving, and so every week, if you follow us on social media, we give away a free gift. But you have to claim it within 2 weeks, otherwise I'd have this pile of stuff, just. So it was a friend of mine's 50th birthday, and he's a progressive, and I was just, oh, this is the perfect T-shirt, because that person didn't claim it. So I wrapped it up, and you had to see his face when he saw Jesus, and that's just his personal thing. He got upset, like, why would you give me a Jesus T-shirt? But then he turned it around and he saw that it said Jesus was a commie. And that to me is exactly what a socially responsible content category should do: engage conversation. That everybody has the right to feel the way they feel or think the way they think without shoving their thoughts down each other's throat. We can do it amicably and stuff like that. So because I believe in Jesus, but that doesn't mean he believes in Jesus and it's okay. But it was funny to see the switch in him from like anger, like, why would you give me this on my 50th, to, oh my gosh, this is funny. And so now we can talk about it if we want to. I'm not so sure I want to talk about
You
religion.
know,
I kind of think that's private.
it seems. Hold
I
on a
think you're
moment.
soft again. Okay.
How's my audio level? Do I sound okay?
It's hard to hear you.
It's hard to hear me.
Yep, that's
All right. How's that now? Is that a little better?
lovely. I love hearing your voice.
There you. And that is the right thing to say. Let's celebrate you here for just a second, because one of the side effects of what you do, whether you thought about it this way or not, is you're educating people. We cannot rely on the overarching school system. We can't rely on vouchers. We can't rely on anything except those of us who are kind of willing to inform people through storytelling. And that really always works when times are hard, particularly, is finding creative ways to get important information out to people. And when more people get their hard news from Jon Stewart on Comedy Central than the networks, than CNN and Fox News, whatever, but more people get it from Comedy Central, it tells you something, that's where they have to go to find out what the hell is going on, right? So what you do is not only entertain and inspire, but you provide people access to real life information that they wouldn't ordinarily otherwise get. That's a beautiful mantle to be able to wear, I would think.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. I mean, one of my proudest moments was when my artistic director, who's in his 70s and he has a PhD in film studies, he taught at Babson College, and he also consults for a lot of films around the world and festivals. And he actually said, and this was the first year, and I've consistently followed the pattern. He said, and I had 3 days then in the first year. He said, Susan, he said, your program is so unique and so varied that there is not the same theme twice. And I went, wow. You could literally sit there from Friday at 5 till Sunday at 6 and not see the same theme or story. That's a lot of that's just a lot of journeys, So, and there was, we got really good, like Badlit said great things about us. We were touted as what is it, Sundance for the Facebook crowd, Biculture Rehab up in San Fran, and it was just like, this is really cool when people you don't know say, yay, keep doing it, because it's, and you feel bad. People submit. I've had Oscar nominees submit, and I can't accept their content, and they kind of look at me funny, and I go, I have a mandate, I have to follow it. There are projects like it looks like I'm going to get a Matthew McConaughey Black Widows music video, but because I helped cast it and the director threw me in this tiny little scene that you see, I can't have it in competition. But it is a great music video, so it's like, yeah, I'll play it, but you can't be in competition. So
how interesting. I want to just offer you another little lofty encomium here. Unlike the rest of,
like a box of chocolates.
I'll take it. Unlike the rest of much of Hollywood or corporate America at large, you actually give a shit about ethics and morals. You actually care about the fact that there might be a conflict of interest, and therefore your first choice is, even though it might be self-serving and fun to do this, you're not going to do it because it's the wrong thing to do, quite honestly. And you support that kind of thinking. This sticks out in 2012, by the way. It really does. It reminds us of right, wrong, and to what degree, something that we never have in our conversations anymore.
Well, I really appreciate you saying that. I'll share another story with you, is that there's a short by Brian Connors who directed it, but it's Ed Asner, multiple award-winning actor, and then Mark Rydell, Oscar. What?
Yeah, we had them on a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
for an hour to
talk about okay. Well, I'll tell you what's funny about that story is that there was a cafe in West Hollywood, and I was standing on the deck calling my friend saying, hey, do you want me to get a table inside or outside? And I see this man that looks familiar, like an old friend. And I went, oh, that's Mark. And so I went, Mark, like an old friend. And he was so joyful, and he came up and he talked to me. And I go, no, 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 no. And it was really funny because, yeah, I could have lied to him and said, yeah, he knew me, but he didn't. I said, no, no, no. I said, you don't know me. I said, but I just screened Good Men. I said, and I felt like I knew you. I felt like I was in that living room. And it was at that moment that I went, wow, if they can be that authentic, that I felt I was there with them, I'm giving them an actor award. And I gave them both an actor award. And I announced it because I didn't want people to think that I created it that night. And so I wanted to be upfront about it because I don't have an actor award. And and the director said to me, he goes, it's really nice that you gave both of them an award. And I go, what do you mean? It's just two people in a short. He goes, you have no idea. There'll be two people on Broadway in a play, and only one gets the award. And I go, well, that's crazy because it's energy. It's feeding off of each other. It's one's helping. Oh my gosh, it's teamwork. Hello, what a concept. So I'm really excited about that. Because I wish you were there with me going, it was like he was an old friend, and I'm like, wow, that's good acting.
Yeah, they are truly nice people, and you also get through your film festival and through how you've set it up, you get to have to become friends with a lot of these people, where in other situations you wouldn't. When it's a film festival, you actually can have a real conversation, and I love, as you do, exploring when an actor is really good, and Mark Rydell having directed Golden Pond, and he's in Good Men, and all these other guys. What do you see going on in the world through your eyes, through somebody who's spent his whole life appreciating, understanding, and looking through other people's eyes? What do you see going on today? They are the alchemy. They are the touchstone to reality that we're all missing. We can't look to, I don't even know who's on the nightly news anymore, but we can't look to them to explain to us, explain Lucy, how stuff really works. But you can look to one of these old guard actors who've seen the McCarthy era, who've seen all this, and can tell you, relative to where you're standing, what it looks like and where it may be going. This is great stuff.
I really appreciate you saying that, because I get in a little trouble, and not from my advisory board, but from sort of people outside in the perimeter that wow, on Tuesday night you're giving Ray Bradbury a Legend Award, and then on your Wednesday night closing night, I have the directorial debut of Good Men, and then you're giving this actor award, and these people are over 50 and they're over 60, and I'll just stop there. And it's like, yeah, so you can be talented at any age. You can be an old soul at 4 and knock it out of the ballpark. And so, I actually had one friend say to me, there is new in your title. And I said, what does that mean? And he goes, you need some young actors up there. And I said, well, I didn't even think of age. When I started looking at my schedule, yes, I have young actors on panels actually that are on our web series Superstar panels, but that's not how I want to program a festival. I want to program something because it needs to be seen and shared. That to me is sort of, that's the ticket for Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory, right? You don't have many golden tickets, but you got to earn it.
No, you don't. And we're always going to be able to screw on the toothpaste caps like Charlie Bucket. But getting the golden ticket and turning purple and going through a toilet tube, that's first class, if you ask me. We're talking to Susan Johnston. She is the progenitor of the, as Culture Rehab refers to it, Sundance for the Facebook crowd. And this film festival that she's got upcoming, and it's happening this coming June 12th and 13th at the Landmark Theater in Los Angeles. So wherever you are watching right now, you could certainly come to LA and shake her hand and meet a lot of cool people and have this extraordinary experience. Plus, you can go online, New Media Film Festival, newmediafilmfestival.com, and there are giveaways, lots of ways that she interacts with you and keeps the relationship growing. It's about being accessible. It's about being available. It's about making these stars actually real and authentic, as she pointed out, part of her value system, which we, of course, think is very groovy and fun here. Let me give you the quick upload, if you're just joining us, what this festival is. It is sponsored in part by Kespro Studios. Filmmaking webinars and greenhouse studios are going to have a state-of-the-art 3D screening for their opening night. They're going to be showcasing some international entrants from New Media and Feature Award nominated and winning filmmakers from all over Earth. Earth! Yes, this little place that you and I cohabitate with 7 billion other mammals like you and me, plus the insects and the snakes. The New Media Film Festival is dedicated to the creation, the development, the distribution of new media content in all forms across all different platforms. And New Media Film Festival is bringing together the CEOs, the artists, the media, the technology professionals, all along with you, in concert with an intimate environment where we can experience massage with release and great cinema through stories worth telling. The massage will be in a separate tent outside. Susan doesn't know about it, but I'm erecting it, as it were, just there for those of us who moved. Entries are accepted year-round. That means that right now, in 8 minutes, Mildred in Ohio, sitting in that lazy boy, could actually enter your contest.
I would love a home video for Mildred. Hey, can I give discount codes out to your fans?
Yes.
Okay, so if you want to submit into any category, Twitter 10, Twitter, Twitter, 10, you'll save $10 off of any submission. If you want to attend, it's only $75 for a full 2-day festival badge that includes everything. But to save 30%, use the word FUN, F-U-N, all lowercase. Oh, and if you buy a festival badge by the middle of May, automatically entered into a contest to win $100 cash.
Wow.
I like giving things away. Have you noticed?
We that too here on the show, but we find it's fair. Anytime you ask somebody to come and spend time with you, you know, you've got to give something back. They just gave you the most valuable thing they have, their time. So I like the way you think. It's reasonable. And at the end of the day, when we all remember how we grew up listening to radio or the rest of it, Listen to Win, it was a relationship we had with a station. And you are, in a sense, a station. You have your version of listeners, viewers. They are your attendees. You've got your disc jockeys, your movie stars, and they are both that come in there. And it's community building. And we love that, and we need it. It's so critically necessary. And Susan Johnston, you obviously have a long history, as we know, in this industry. Give us a little quick upload of what you did before you gave birth to this.
Well, thanks for asking. Just a couple of years ago, when I found out that Australia, I believe, was doing the Great Gatsby, I went, oh, I was on the set of the Great Gatsby. I was in the Newport, Rhode Island version. I was a little girl, and I remember feeling something behind me turning, and it was Robert Redford. And from my understanding, my dad had done the. What?
Are you still quivering?
Yeah, wow. Seriously, I was a little girl, and I felt something behind me, and I turned, and it was Robert Redford. But it was that sort of luncheon meeting with this lovely gal from Australia that I went, wow, I've been in the business a long time. I had no idea. You know, my dad started out as, you know, jack of all trades, obviously antique cars, and then he was an artist, and then he was a talent rep, and then he became an executive producer of hit TV shows, and he's retired, and God love him. I learned so much of what to do and not to do just being underneath him. And I was also part of that old system that, you know, was extremely powerful and competitive. And so, you know, I just, on my own back east, I was an actress thinking that I was, you know, at the top of my game because every major film that came in town, I'd get like an under 5 or a featured or something. And at the same time, I was balancing the Providence Film Commission and the Rhode Island Film Office because the two guys didn't talk to each other, so I was the bridge between the two, and it was a lot of fun. And then with about, you know, a whole committee of people over 5 years, we built the infrastructure that they're still using today. And it was that. It was, you know, my dad violated every child labor law, and I am glad because he dragged me to work with him everywhere he went. At 13 years old.
Wait a minute. La 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 la. Okay.
All right, but I mean, I was doing a light show for a band, you know, at 13 years old in a club. I mean, I wasn't drinking. He was a big bear of a guy. I mean, no one was gonna mess. But I mean, wow, the amazing experiences. He had me playing tambourine in Slim Pickens' band when he came to town. I mean, crazy stuff. Um,
Slim Pickens?
yeah,
Am I thinking of,
I
no, I was thinking of when I'm calling you. That was a different one,
I can't even
wasn't it?
remember. So when I came out here as an actress, I came out here during the actors' strike, and being a staunch union gal, at the time that I arrived, I was like, oh. So I called everybody and said, what can I do? And then my friend hooked me up with a casting agent. Oh, David, my artistic director. And then literally, that was the day of the pagers and the cell phone and the landline. And I said to her, I said, listen, 24/7, call me. You can't get me on the pager, call me on my cell, call me on my home. Midnight that night, she called me and she said, do you want to be a white trash wife in Kid Rock's music video? And I said, sure. She said, what time? She said, 6 in the morning. I said, I'll be there. And that was American Badass. So that was my first juncture into sort of, because after that day, she kept having me help her cast. And so that's how I started casting, and then I produced, and, then it was a mix of all of them.
I love the
think, go ahead.
I love the fact, Susan Johnston, that you have this incredible energy, because that's half the battle, is passion. Passion in life always wins. People get excited by the fact that you have this kind of passion, and they know that you are, in fact, the magic carpet that's going to deliver them to where they're trying to go. And not everybody is able to be the kind of vehicle that you are, that can creatively put together the kind of mechanism that a film festival is. Hard work. This is not like throwing a cocktail party for 6 people. This is serious heavy lifting, and you're running it every single day, 365 days a year. And I'll give you a quick Robert Redford story. I met him when I was in my early 20s because my aunt worked for him, or with him. She produced Ordinary People and River Runs Through It. And so I had lunch in Manhattan with my girlfriend at the time. I don't do girls anymore. Don't tell anybody. I love them, but I love looking at them. But here was the deal. And I was so hammered, and he was so gracious and nice. But I was like just drooling because it was free booze at a restaurant, and I'm 23. So I think my experience might have been similar to yours. Is I don't remember much of it, but it was Robert Redford.
Yeah, stunning. I mean, for me to remember as a little girl, that's just one stunning man. I've never met him again since, but I do hope to.
I've met him a couple of times at Sundance because we go live there every year using a special kind of technology that we have. And I'd love to talk to you further about it because it's allowed us to go live from Beijing. The Swiss Alps went live from NAB last week twice. Some other cool stuff that probably would be really fun and frisky for your festival to be able to just suddenly go live in really cool ways using traditional mainstream media, terrestrial broadcasting simultaneously. But we were live with Redford just a couple of months ago, talking about his sort of plan for the future. And I have to tell you, he's on more or less the same page. I think you're ahead, frankly. He's still trying to keep the old system alive because that's his generation and that's his vision. You get that the new system is zeros and ones, zeros and ones, zeros and ones, and that's it, like it or not.
I think he's been in the business long enough that you're like Gumby. You can bend forward, backwards, your legs up over your head, but at some point, if you don't bend, or if you bend too much, you break. So it's that balance. It's that balance of what do you want to see in the world? How do you want it to happen? And what part of everything behind you is really going to be utilized as you move forward? And it's hard. It means you have to shed you have to lose all that you knew that got you here. So, my heart goes out to people. I mean, look at the difference between reality shows. I know that there are scripted reality shows and they're a little more like TV, but where are the sitcoms? I love sitcoms. Where are they? So, 3-camera broadcast.
They're expensive, and we don't like that.
There are ways to capture content now that would not have it that expensive. So everyone has to sit at the table and realistically say, in this new economic paradigm, with the new tools we have in our new media toolbox, you're not getting $800 a day anymore. We can do it for $400 a day. And it's because we have to make money to pay our bills so we can buy more shows so I can keep continuing to keep you working. And that's a hard conversation.
I'm just going to jump in. For those of you just joining us, we're on the front page of Spreecast, I can see here right now. And I want to introduce who we're talking to, Susan Johnston. Susan is very, very cool. She's the founder, director, and a new best friend here of the GoHarrison Show. She's the founder, director of the New Media Film Festival. The third annual New Media Film Festival is going to be held in just a couple of months, June 12th and 13th, at the Landmark Theater here in Los Angeles / Hollywood. It's going to feature the movie Jesus Was a Commie, which is put together by Emmy and Golden Globe nominee Matthew Modine, a name every single one of us knows. The festival is dedicated to honoring stories that are worth telling. Now, that doesn't mean it's drawing paint, it's horrible, it's didactic, it's pounding, it's sesquipedalian. No, it just means it's worth telling. In other words, you will enjoy the stories that Susan has picked to be able to present to you. Movies that are innovative, imaginative, and totally inspirational. I'm going to give out the website, though you can see the URL on your screen audibly for those who are just listening and just hearing the audio portion of this conversation. newmediafestival.com, one word, newmediafestival.com. You are watching and listening to Go Harrison, GoHarrison.com, our 24-hour channel. We're birthing the 3.0 version next week, at least this is what I'm told reliably by our Ministry of Information. So we're hoping that that indeed does happen. We're going to be able to feature a lot of different podcasts from our Progressive Radio Network and our KPFK and Pacifica Radio Network archives, plus a lot of videos end-to-end, which are already on YouTube, DirecTV, Dish, through YouTube, et cetera, interfrasticating as one large fucked up octopus. And we're trying to pare it down to a small squid. So please pray for us. We could certainly use the help. We're talking to Susan. Susan is shocked and horrified by my beloved use of language. But because part of this is streaming through the zeros and ones, we can say words like tinkle and dog do and get away with it. And isn't that beautiful in new media?
So I can say poop?
Poop and poo-poo.
Wow, that's pretty fascinating. Thank you so much for that introduction. I'd love to share with you the submission process of judging, although it's on the website under the Submit tab or the button. But basically, there are 3 people that, screeners that watch it. You have to get a 4 or a 5 collectively between the 3 in order to get, considered to be actually in the category. I look at every single one. They're based on, I don't watch the entire thing. If it's not a 4 or a 5, I do look at it, and if it looks like it's good, I'll continue. And if not, generally I'm agreeing with them, and I don't need to see any more. But then once you get into the actual categories on your screen, then we have judges from Pixar, Industrial Light and Magic, and the Caucus. And then we take the top 3 of the point system and of that category and send them to the judges. And then the judges make a decision. But what's really cool is we have a committee. I'm on that. David Kleidermeyer, assistant director, is on that. And then every year we pick someone else, so it's a mix. Because David and I, we have to have different people loving different things, and we have to have intelligent conversations about why this one and not that one. And so we have 3 people that make the final decision. So if 2 of us don't like it, I don't know how that works. Wait, hold on. When all 3 of us don't like it, sorry, that's what it was. When all that works, huh? Right? I'm trying to figure out how's my own system work. Because we're not there yet. I'm in the middle of actually programming, and then I got to do this with them. But basically, we have a 3rd person because it's an odd number, and all 3 of us have to like the same film. And I remember last year specifically, there was one film that Noel didn't, or maybe it was the year before, but Noel did not want this film. And I go, Noel, I like this film. And I asked him to call all the people and tell them they were accepted. And, to his credit, he didn't, because he was that passionate about it. And he was probably praying to someone, get me another film. Sure enough, the next day in the mail, I get this exquisite little piece called Evidence is Everywhere. I don't even like dolls. I don't even like dolls. And there are these little dolls, and there's cop dolls, and it's this cute little story about a crime scene, with these people that are dolls. And I called Noel up and I go, oh, I said, I found something today. I said, and he goes, oh, thank goodness. He goes, because please, I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. He goes, we'll put it in the festival. I don't like the other thing so that much. And I was like, wow, he's pretty passionate about that. Come to find out, he knew that director. I mean, so he was like, oh, yay. But it was the cutest little thing on the planet. So I acquiesced. Had I not gotten that overrode the one that he didn't want, I would be like, no.
We're enjoying we're enjoying right now the end of a Hollywood confabulation with the great Susan Johnston. Susan, I have just met, obviously, in the last 40 minutes, and she is bringing some enlightenment, some bounciness, and some fun to the notion of old-fashioned storytelling, piercing the cloud of mainstream entertainment, going from what used to be an appliance sitting on a shelf that weighed 400 pounds called a television set that had to be tethered to either a satellite dish or the Time Warner Corporation, which would then deliver through cables, and you had to sit on a couch with a remote control to watch a movie that's coming up in 4. Everyone ready? 3, 2, 1, appointment viewing. And all of this stuff, and found a way to take the same product, the reason you're sitting on that couch in front of a 400-pound appliance, and make it not only available in a movie theater, which is great so that you can have that kind of community, but also available on smartphones and iPads and computer screens and all over the place. Ubiquitous delivery and awards for people that are telling the important stories that you might not ordinarily have a chance to see. Certainly if you're watching a commercial network, they're not going to show the kinds of movies, films, shorts, and trailers, and even commercials that she might want to feature, that she thinks are pithy, punchy, profound. And can you quadruply alliterate for me, honey? I ran out of P's.
P's: passionate, profound, powerful.
Punctilious.
I like punctilious. They're not perfect. Perfect is not a word that's appropriate here. But I don't have any other P words except petunia.
Well, that's we all have. Bravo. Well, so we've got about a month. I came in fuzzy?
Now you.
Thank you. I do that. I shapeshift a lot on camera, but we just get used to it. You'll never know what animal I was a minute ago. So we've got a month and a half.
Oh, do we have a home for Valentina, the 85-foot balloon whale? No?
We haven't discovered that yet. I'd like to reach out to Hillsman Wright. If you don't know him, you need to. Hillsman Wright is the guy who invented Last Remaining Seats, the LA Conservancy, the League of Historic American Theaters, was the guy who pretty much single-handedly saved the El Capitan from being turned into a parking garage, and then gave Disney the multi-million-dollar idea of why not have a live organist like the old days? Why not do this and that? He is such a genius. He knows where all the bodies are buried because he buried them himself, probably. He might be the go-to guy for your inflate-a whale. So I'm going to make sure you guys are connected, and we'll see what we can do.
Thank you. It's very
well,
sweet.
This has been huge and amazing fun. I'm so glad, Susan, and we kept you on way longer than we're allowed. And anytime we could break the rules, we're having a good day here.
Wait a minute, watch this, okay? I'm looking at a gift I got for Christmas, and it says, if you obey all the rules, you miss all the fun. Katharine Hepburn. Isn't that great?
And she knew a thing or two about having fun.
Oh, yes, she did. Good old Yankee girl. I'm a Yankee girl.
I know. She was amazing. And the real deal, this was not some kind of affected accent. That was real. That was a legit Connecticut accent when you lived that close to the salt water.
It's true.
In a big house.
And our
money.
I've never met her, but she is definitely a Yankee gal. just, you can tell by who she is, and that's a good solid girl.
Yeah.
Lady.
Well, Susan, I want to be in touch with you after we hang this thing up. Maybe tomorrow we could say hi quickly. And
I made it funny. Sorry.
and cross-pollinate some stuff. And we certainly would love to promote your film festival. I speak we as sort of the royal we, but we're wildly jazzed about just your personality and your passion and your outlook and your vision and all that stuff. So we'd love to support it, help out any way we can, and the elevator goes up from here.
Can I just let people know that on our homepage, you press festival schedule and you just scroll down and you'll see the programming that we have so far. And for Los Angeles, anything submitted through May 1st will be considered. So I'd say by May 5th or May 7th, we should be locked in programming. So it'll be fun to watch what we add on and what we're doing. Oh, I said doing. That's for Rhode Island.
What we doing? Let's hope that Mildred gets off her large curd cottage cheese buttocks and puts in that entry fast.
Can you imagine? She's her own reality show. She is. I think her lazy recliner chair vibrates, don't you?
It does. And get this, Susan, she still is wearing the original pink quilted house coat.
Wow. That was before terry cloth.
You just don't want to smoke a cigarette within 100 square feet.
Oh no, you go up in flames. I actually went to I don't usually go to malls, but I had to go to a mall because my laptop sort of bit the bed today and they're gonna fix it. And I just went into this store that's tied into a major TV show where the clothes show up. And I was just walking around going, I mean, they were beautiful designs, but the fabric they're choosing, I looked at it and went, do not light a cigarette near this fabric. You are going to go poof up in flames. It looks scary. It looks scary. That's all I'm saying. I hope they put flame retardant on it.
I love it. Harrison with you. I want to thank you so much, Susan Johnston. New Media Film Festival coming up. The third annual New Media Film Festival will be June 12th and 13th at the Landmark Theater here in Los Angeles, Hollywood, California. You can come and join. You can meet Susan. You can see the stars. The tickets are, as she pointed out, $75 plus. If you put in all the different codes and fun in lowercase letters, you get really profound and deep discounts. So it ends up being next to nothing for a night of fun, frolic, mayhem, and merriment. All worth it. The website, newmediafestival.com, newmediafestival.com.
Nope, New Media Film Festival.
Newmediafilmfestival.com. No, thank you for that correction. Newmediafilmfestival.com. And if you click, something magic will happen. Am I right? If they click, something magic happens to their personal life, their dating experience, etc. They find the person they've always wanted to fall in love with. If they go to your website as part of the alchemical mystery of it all.
If they believe, it will happen.
It's the secret. I love it. Well, thank you. We'll be in touch with you soon enough. I'm going to reach out to you because we have much good to do together. And thank you, Susan Johnston. Thank you for putting this on. Thank you for giving a showcase for so many artists around the world who unfortunately don't have the voice that they deserve when they have nourishing and amazing projects. You found a way to be able to make that available to all of us who actually want just a little more than the Shaws of Sunset Strip or whatever that's called.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate your time, your support, and your love. Thank you.
And healthcare for all.
Healthcare for all, even the space beings.
Yeah, and I'm watching him right now on MSNBC from the planet Kolob, Mr. Romney.
Well, that's almost starting to sound like a chant, like they would say something in Battlestar Galactica, till all are one or whatever, It's just, that sounds like one of those kind of chants.
So say we
That's
all.
true.
Yeah.
Well, thank you,
Thank you so much.
Foster, for managing the technical side and everything else from our home base in Phoenix, our multi-wango Zizmomanometer that he uses, that he built out of a Radio Shack kit in Phoenix. I have no idea what I'm saying, but it sounds very sci-fi. 1956, I think. Thank you, Susan Johnston. We love you. We'll be in touch. Thank you, everyone else, for joining us here as we burst the hymen of possibility on Spreecast and create this platform and make it even more girthy than Newt Gingrich's penis on a good night. And I'm just going to leave everyone. Did I? And I said Newt Gingrich in the same sentence. Talk about colliding ideas.
Wrong on so many levels.
Thank you.
All right, bye, you guys. Be well, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for helping us test this out, too.
Thank you.
Now, do you press that button or do I press